Vibrato? What is vibrato? Hard to explain? This is what it is. So, American National Standards Institute defines vibrato as a family of tonal effects in music that depend on the periodic variation of one or more characteristic in the sound wave, which is going to be essential when we talk about FM versus AM radios. And musicians use this to add depth and more melody, right, to their notes. It's like right, when you move your fingers slightly when you're playing the violin or sing, yeah, right? So if you hit them at one point, it just like, the note is like bland. But then if you move it slightly, the note becomes more, not high toned, but more, how do you define it? It has more melody in it. It has more depth in it. Is that the right word?
Depth is really good.
Oh, Faye said the notes seem to be more buoyant. That's a good one. Good job. But yeah, that's adding vibrato. Okay. And most music players, especially string instruments, will add it in order to make the sounds better. Tremolo, on the other hand, so remember vibrato was the periodic change in the pitch of a musical tone. Okay, whereas tremolo is the periodic change in the amplitude, how loud or soft something is. And they're both related, but they're not identical. So vibrato is when you change slightly the frequency, whereas tremolo is when you change the actual amplitude. Singers do that, right? With their tones. I'm not going to attempt it. But like if they're flat, right? Singers, you sing, right? Somebody online. Oh yeah, Faye sings. Exactly. Do you do that? Do you add depth? I'm waiting. Oh, she said something else too. I know some people who have perfect pitch. My high school director is one of them. It took a lot of upkeep and work to keep it in her brain and in her ear, but was relatively easier for her than other people. It comes easier to some people than it does to other people. No, this is good. Thank you for sharing. And yes, it's a technique I learned a while ago. Yes. Okay.
I was just going to say, like, if you take a violin, for example, like a tremolo is an actual instruction we get in music sometimes. And what that means is when we move our bow at a rapid pace on a solitary pitch, what it does is change the amplitude at which you are hearing that, whereas vibrato actually changes the perceived pitch you are hearing slightly. Yeah. So if you want a simple way of finding the difference between tremolo and vibrato is a change in pitch. Tremolo is just changing. Yeah.
So to a scientist, it's a change in frequency, right? Versus that is a change in sound, like loudness. Yeah. Excellent. Both of them are not necessarily done in isolation, right? So singers will use both techniques together. Most instruments, you will try to use both together. And I like the word buoyant. I like the word buoyant. That makes sense. And I will write that word here. So vibrato increases depth and buoyancy of sound. I like the way that defines it. And remember, one is the change in frequency, and the other one is the change in amplitude, loudness, like physically increasing the volume and decreasing it.